Episode 3. The Soviet Kiss of Death. Cyanide, Gadgets and Spy Suicides. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a doctor, scientist or intelligence agent, and nothing here is medical advice. All information is based on historical records, declassified documents and credible sources. Welcome to Pete's world of poisonous plants, where espionage, toxicology and a splash of British dark humor collide. If you enjoy diving into the darker side of nature and spycraft, don't forget to like, subscribe and share, because today we're looking at one of the most infamous poisons in espionage history, cyanide. Forget James Bond's exploding pens. The real Cold War spies had something far more terrifying tucked away in their pockets: pills, coins, pens and even lipstick tubes filled with poison. In the shadowy world of espionage, cyanide was the ultimate backup plan. Cyanide, nature's lethal secret. Cyanide isn't just a laboratory poison, it's also found in the natural world. Plants like bitter almonds, cassava, peach pits, apricot kernels, and even apple seeds contain cyanogenic compounds. These break down inside the body to release hydrogen cyanide gas. Once in your system, cyanide prevents your cells from using oxygen. Imagine suffocating, but with your lungs still full of air. The victim gasps, convulses, and within minutes can lose consciousness. Death, if the dose is high enough, follows swiftly. That's why cyanide became a favorite for spies. It was fast, deadly, and easy to conceal. And unlike ricin or botulinum toxin, cyanide could be explained away as something natural. The suicide pill. In both World War II and the Cold War, intelligence agencies issued their agents with cyanide L-pills. These were tiny glass ampoules, often hidden in pens, rings, or behind false teeth. If an agent was captured, biting down on one meant an instant, if grisly, end. The logic was simple: better to die quickly than face days of torture, interrogation, or public trial. The CIA, MI6 and the Soviet KGB all carried these pills in one form or another. Some were hidden in hollowed-out coins, others in fountain pens. A few agents even had them tucked into the cavities of their molars. One bite and the game was over. Famous cases. One of the most notorious examples came at the end of the Second World War. Heinrich Himmler, head of the SS, bit down on a cyanide capsule when captured by British forces in 1945. It killed him within seconds before he could be brought to trial. The same fate befell Hermann Göring, although he smuggled his pill into prison and took it the night before his scheduled execution at Nuremberg. Fast forward to the Cold War. The CIA issued cyanide suicide devices to high-risk operatives. U-2 spy plane pilot Francis Gary Powers, shot down over the Soviet Union in 1960, was carrying one. He chose not to use it and lived to stand trial in Moscow before being swapped in a famous spy exchange. On the Soviet side, defectors later confirmed that the KGB equipped deep-cover agents with cyanide ampoules, sometimes disguised as cough lozenges. Spies who feared betrayal often admitted they carried the little glass vial everywhere they went. The kiss of death and other gadgets. But suicide pills weren't the only cyanide trick. The Soviets also developed what came to be known as the kiss of death. It was a lipstick pistol, small enough to fit into a handbag, capable of firing a single cyanide-tipped bullet at point-blank range. Western intelligence agencies captured a few of these devices during the Cold War, confirming they weren't just rumors. Imagine being seduced by a glamorous agent, only to realize the kiss really was deadly. Other gadgets included poison-tipped needles disguised as pens, hollowed-out keys and coins containing micropellets of poison, and even umbrellas similar to the one used in the Markov assassination, although with cyanide rather than ricin. It all sounds like something from a James Bond film, but these were real devices, catalogued in Western intelligence museums after the fall of the Soviet Union. The science and the smell. Cyanide poisoning has one famous myth: the smell of bitter almonds. Some victims, it's said, give off this odor. But here's the twist: only about half the population can detect it, due to a genetic quirk. To some, the room reeks of almonds. To others, nothing at all. Symptoms of cyanide poisoning include rapid breathing, dizziness, seizures, and cardiac arrest. Death can come in less than 10 minutes from a concentrated dose. That's why cyanide was trusted by spies who wanted certainty. No fumbling with complicated gadgets. Just one bite, and it was over. Cyanide in history and espionage. Cyanide's role wasn't limited to the Cold War. In the 1930s and 40s, intelligence operatives, resistance fighters, and even ordinary soldiers sometimes carried capsules in case of capture. British SOE agents parachuting into occupied France often carried them. Soviet partisans behind enemy lines did the same. In every case, the pill represented both security and terror, a reminder of the risks they faced. During the Cold War, cyanide became almost symbolic of espionage itself. It was the poison that whispered, "Trust no one and never get caught." The dark psychology of the pill. What's fascinating is that cyanide wasn't always used. Many agents never cracked their capsules. Some were captured alive, interrogated, and traded back in spy swaps. Others simply couldn't bring themselves to end their own lives. In that sense, cyanide pills were as much a psychological weapon as a physical one. They offered a way out, but they also reminded every agent that their bosses expected silence at all costs. So next time you bite into an apple seed or smell the faint whiff of almonds, remember, you're flirting with the same chemical that spies once carried in hollow coins and hidden teeth. The Soviet kiss of death proved that in the Cold War, sometimes the deadliest weapons came not from laboratories or arsenals, but from the very plants we take for granted. This has been episode 3 of Poison and Espionage, the Dark Arts of Spies. We've explored the world of cyanide, nature's killer, spycraft's backup plan, and one of the strangest tools of the Cold War. If you enjoyed this toxic tale, hit like, subscribe, and share. And join me for the next episode, where we'll uncover another dark chapter in the world of espionage and poisonous plants. Because in the shadowy world of spies, it's often nature that holds the deadliest secrets.